Hello everybody, I am Duke James, and this is the continuation of my Castilian Colonization campaign in EU4 Meiou and Taxes. So I think I went a couple years ahead into the future, and a couple of things happened. You might notice the map is a little bit different down here, because I ate Kybala, gave him the Aragon, and released Kybala. These two provinces aren't anything special, so if I want those, I'll just conquer them later, but for now they have low trade power, so they're kind of worthless. I took all the good provinces and gave them the Aragon so they can core that territory, and then I can just integrate them and get it for free. The other thing is, once I get above 0 prestige, I'm going to cut Damascus loose, because I don't think they're ever going to get below 50%. Because of that events, province defections, and provinces developed is 122 plus 122, and that takes forever to tick down. And what else happened is Morocco entered into a treaty with them. They became disloyal, so hopefully once I get rid of Damascus, Morocco goes back down. And then the other thing that happened was, just as I thought, the Pope excommunicated me, and I lost 2 stability. Normally that'd be fine, but I have this internal conflicts going. So I was in a dire straits there, but I gave out privileges and I decentralized. So that will come in 2 years, but my war exhaustion has been ticking down, and that should disappear soon. Probably within a year, so I should be fine. I shouldn't have to fight that. The other thing I'm going to do is, we're sufficiently far enough in this game. I think we're like 230 years, something like that. So I'm going to use the rest of this episode as a kind of like look over the world and see what's going on, and what stuff is going on, autonomy and stuff like that. So first I'll just do a world view. Alright. So France has eaten most of their vassals. Allied with Scotland, Genoa, and Siena. Yeah, this stuff is pretty basic. Scotland still exists. Ireland, for some reason, still exists, but they are being attacked, so that might not last very much longer. Denmark has been conquered by the Hansa. They lost Finland a while ago. And then Scotland conquered provinces either from Denmark or Sweden. I thought Denmark died. Or I thought Sweden died, but they're back, so I don't know if they were released or something like that. But yeah, Scotland is in the Nordic countries. For how long, who knows? They have a bunch of separatists. And then the HRE is dominated by Saxony and Mecklenburg-Schwerin, and then Moravia is over here. Netherlands, Mainz. Let's check out the Empire map mode. So the Empire is pretty much kept together. There's some territory that doesn't belong to them, but for the most part, they're good. They're held together. They still have Italy, because Florence became the emperor, and that's a pain in my ass. Yep, that's the Empire. Moving over, Lithuania. Lithuania and Poland, not together, but rather large. Lithuania is still together. They conquered some of Lapland, or whatever. That's not, Lapland's up here. Whatever that is. Yep, they exist. Lithuania. They've got some territory taken over by Novgorod, who's surprisingly still alive. Muscovy is a one-province minor. And then there's this country, Vorotnisk. Never seen this country before. They're Orthodox, quality, aristocratic, leadership, economic. So Vorotnisk and Novgorod dominate Russia. And the White Horde still exists. Interestingly enough. They're still kicking around. Georgia got back some territory from the Ottomans. Persia exists, and Persia is Sunni. We need a Nader Shah to come by and make them Shiite. Yeah, so that's this area. And then Ethiopia is not unified. They do exist. They have two provinces, but they got eaten by Alwa. And then Africa. I've been over here a lot. Tenkodogo, Mali, and Yoruba are the three largest ones. Zanzibar, hanging out on the coast. And then these guys. India. Madurai controls a huge chunk of it. This is probably actually, like what, 33%? Like a third of India controlled by Madurai. They have a good chunk. My plan for India is vassalizing Bamani, which, if I get their trust up, then I have to give them back Goa, but I should be able to offer vassalization. I'd have to get their opinion of me up to 190, which would take a while. But they have cores, a bunch of cores over here and up here that they can take. And then the other option is Telangana, because they have a bunch of cores down here. I think their cores overlap with Bamani, but if I can get both of them, their cores down here don't overlap. So I think that's a like a fifth or fourth of India right here in this area. So if I could get them both as vassals, then I could conquer a good bit of India for not a lot of aggressive expansion. So that's what I hope to do. I'm going to go ahead and... Actually, I can't. I have to cut Damascus loose before I ally them. Alright, what else? Religion map mode. So the Protestant Reformation has started and is taking hold. Actually, there's not that many Protestant provinces. There's more Reformed. There's a lot of Reformed. I think there's only a couple Protestant countries. I'd like to also vassalize Genoa, but they're not the same religion anymore, so that might not happen. So this is a Europe religion. I have a couple Reformed provinces, and Malaga keeps going Jewish. Gibraltar went back to Sunni. Actually, a lot of these provinces went back to Sunni. This area is still Orthodox. Damascus is converting their provinces to Catholic. Miaphysite. North and South America, Catholic. They're under me. Madagascar is a mix of Reformed, Animist, and Catholic. That's a mess. And then most of India is Hindu, but the countries are Sunni. For the most part. Theravada, Confucian, Hindu. There's the religion map mode. Let's do a world view. Here's my country as it is in 1570. The Iberian Peninsula, some of Italy, some of North Africa, West Africa, South Africa, North and South America, and then a little foothold into India, and then a couple of provinces in the Levant. But I'm going to remove Damascus, so that is Castile in 1570. Coalition map mode. Potential people that can join the coalition. Mali. Europe, I think, for the most part, is below 50. So it looks like they have stuff, but they're below 50 for the most part. The Mamluks are even below 50. And then India is not below 50. So the good thing about vassalizing Bamani and Telangana is that I can remove Bijapur. And that eliminates a vassal of theirs. And some of Vijayanagar as well. I still want to ally Bengal, so I think I'm going to attack Madurai. I'm going to take this province for myself, and then this province. This province allows me to ally Bengal. And then this province, I'm going to attack Sindh and make them return this province to Bamani, and hopefully that gives me a relations boost with Bamani, and then I'm going to take this province for myself so I border them. And I can't hold Goa if I want to vassalize them. They are Shiite, so I can't royally marry them. Or Telangana, so it's gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to do a little finagling in order to get them to 190. And what else? Check out autonomy. So the Iberian autonomy, I'd say it's pretty good. I only have one red province in Iberia. Yeah, could probably build a couple more roads to over here. I could build a regional capital in Crunia, but I think I'm going to leave that so I can build regional capitals over in Italy. Just because it's farther away. Because this is there's a region here and a region here. There's a region here, region here, region here, region here, and region here. So that's 5 regions in Italy. Realistically, I'd probably build one right here, here, and here. Because this is only half, and I don't think I'm going to conquer these areas. And then this one, well, I don't even have any territories now. So let's see, culture. Yeah, it's just, I don't think any culture changed. Accepted culture, Metropolitan map mode. Consecrated metropolitans. Is that a Orthodox thing? I don't even know. Estates. It's dominated by the greater nobles. There's a little sprinkling of burghers. The estates, the burghers and the greater nobles are actually tied with 23%, and then the lesser nobles 9%, and the state has 33%. And tribals have 9%. And I have a bunch of states that I haven't used yet, because I'm going to use them once I integrate Aragon and Portugal. Because there's a lot of states I could make over in those provinces, so that's why I've held on to them. The only other things I can do are like Algiers with 32 development, and I just don't think that's a very good use when I could make like Barcelona states. Cores. Let's make those cores. I'm gonna do admin or bureaucracy ideas to be able to integrate Aragon. So I can't do this mission. Where is it? It's right here. So I need to complete this mission, which is absolutism at least 70. My absolutism right now is 65. So I could either do one of two things. Well, two realistic things. Get bureaucracy for that plus 10, or aristocratic for plus 5. Those are the two idea groups that I can take right now. Because I don't see any other ones that give centralization. I think bureaucracy is the better bet, so I'm gonna go for that. Also, in between parts, I got rid of my heir, and I got an event for a 666 female heir. That was not me. I did not do that. This is Iron Man mode, just to show that it was not me doing that. That happened randomly. She's probably going to die before she takes over anyway. Is there anything else? I'm going to send 10,000 men to Mexico. Continue that. And then I'll probably fight the Incan Empire and give territories to Colombia from the Incan Empire. Some of this does belong to them. I think there's a lot that belongs to them, actually, because if I declare war, all of these show up as belonging to them. I'm not sure if that some of these provinces are included in that, but I can't see in there, but I imagine there's a lot of provinces in there that belongs in the Colombia region, so I could conquer those. Colombia actually it's making a decent amount of money, and they do have an army, so they should be able to handle the overextension. They do have 196 development, so giving them like 40 development shouldn't hinder them too much. I'll just eat it off in chunks. Trade good map mode. Europe's basically, those don't change. But the New World, there's a lot of cotton in North America, as you would expect. Cotton up there, basically all of the provinces are cotton. Which isn't bad, because cotton does sell for $240. And then there's a lot of corn, maize. as well, spread out pretty evenly. Cocoa, a lot of it in Colombia and the United Provinces of Central America. Also in this area, I forgot what it was called. Caribbean. It's cattle. A lot of cattle, especially in Brazil. They make a lot of cattle, even now. Fish, decent amount of fish. And then there's sugar. Not a lot of sugar. There's 4 provinces producing sugar. I'd expect there to be a lot more sugar. What is this? Coffee. There's a decent amount of coffee in Colombia. So Colombia produces cocoa and coffee. Cocoa, coffee. And then there's one last good. Brazil wood. There's a little bit of there's a little enclave of Brazil wood here in these 3 provinces. And then one province in Mexico. And that is the trade goods of the New World. And these provinces have corn and cattle. No tobacco. I don't think any province produces tobacco. Nope, I lied. 2 provinces produce tobacco. I'm surprised no sugar's down here, because I think they do produce sugar in Florida. Alright, anything else? Technology. I'm pretty much the leader in tech in the world, even though I'm a couple techs behind in admin and dip tech. I suppose that's because of the 28 mil tech. But then again, I don't really see anybody with, except Italy, which is always ahead of time on tech. And then there's the Ming, for some reason. I imagine because they have the continental art and intellectual centers everywhere. Well, there's one of those, but intellectual centers. Speaking of China, this is their capital. 142 development. Dominant center of trade. 1,700 urban wealth. Not a lot of farming efficiency, though. 23%. Which is a little bit surprising. Speaking of capitals, London, 38 development. Paris, 88. Damn you, Paris. My capital has 72. I have a lot of universities, so I have a lot of foreign students. Barcelona has 48 developments. It's Prague. This area has just been dominated, destroyed. Prague has 14 development. Budapest, 34 developments. Constantinople, 48 development. Thrace, 9 development. The Ottomans' capital has 9 development. I don't know why they wouldn't move that. They moved it from Bursa to Thrace. I think that happened historically. Or is this one Thrace? Trachea? Strikey. They moved it to one of these areas, and then they moved it to Constantinople. Historically. Cairo? I've systematically destroyed Cairo in all my wars. So they're, yeah, they're not doing too good. I'm going to eventually conquer that for Egypt. I just want to destroy it a little bit more, so I don't get huge aggressive expansion. Giza has been destroyed. Life has not been kind to the Mamluks. I think that's it really for capitals. Tabriz, 18. Warsaw, 12. Not a lot of very high development capitals in the world. Just Paris, Italy. Genoa has 62 development. And then Naples sucks. I have to build that up. Anything else? Economic development. This map mode's kind of worthless. I guess I could find out. 56 development in Tolzan. There's not a lot of distinction between provinces with this one. This map mode. A lot of development in southern India. Isfahan and Fars, their capitals are pretty good, despite them being relatively small countries. I'll just go by and check out the autonomy of countries, just in case anyone wants to know. France, half of France is high autonomy. Hungary, I think I went to that one. Kiev, Poland, Lithuania. Empire of the Romans, pretty good. I still need to fight the Ottomans. Mamluks, horrible. Always horrible. You take one province from the Mamluks and it just kills their autonomy. This province, well, technically I guess you have to take... See, they still have Dumyat. So they could go from Cairo to Dumyat and then sail, but I guess they don't, because all of their autonomy over here is horrible. Madurai. Majapahit. I'll go through the colonial nations. New Toledo, horrible autonomy. I imagine most of these guys are going to have horrible autonomy. Yeah, and then Las Guayanas has one province that doesn't have 100% autonomy. Colombia. I mean, if I had a ton of money, I would help build with these guys. The thing is, if I try to build roads, I might not be able to ever build roads. Like, this is just iffy in terms of me building stuff. It would just take a lot of investments, and I don't think are tariffs based on their tax as a tariff? So they pay a part based on tariff efficiency of their tax. Okay, so if I do reduce autonomy, that would increase their tax. But I think it would require a ton of investments. There's some guys that it's more worth it for others, like Upoka. You just build roads to these 3 provinces, and then trade building or trade wharfs, and then it would help out, I imagine, immensely. As long as I build a return wharf and some roads going in. Probably Mexico, Upoka, Colombia, and then this area would be the best to build that stuff in, but I'm not going to worry about it now. My plan is to build a ton of light ships and draw trade that way. Get trade power in these provinces. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of transferring around this way, I'm going to transfer through Yemen and Egypt, and then have them go to the Barbaric coast. I think I can send light ships in Yemen and Egypt to increase the trade power, so that should help me pull more trade power if I build a ton more light ships. Is there anything else? Institutions? As usual, Western Europe has institutions. Eastern Europe, not so much. The rest of the world, not so much either, except Ming. North and South America are getting legalism. See, the thing with colonies is you'd think they would get quicker institutions, but apparently they settle legal disputes with fights to the death. Province trauma, there's a lot of it in Italy. I think I had a lot of prosperous areas, but the plague kind of destroyed those. There's no prosperity bonus, so it's not huge, in my opinion. Manpower, if anybody wants to see that for some reason. Opinion map mode. Coalition again. Trade leagues. Rivals. Great powers. Great powers are Ming, Castile, France, Madurai, Delhi, Bengal, Niki, and Ottoman. Who is Niki? They're great power from East Asia. Okay. Dynastic map mode. I share the same dynasty with France. State edicts, there are none. Government types. Unrest. Trade map mode. Anything else to do? I don't think so. I'm making 30 ducats. There's all of these, but I'm not... Alright, I think I'll go through all these just really quickly. I'm going to end the part afterwards, so if you don't want to watch... If you don't want to see all these, then that's what's going to happen. Learner religious head, timber supplier, merchant venturing, merchants adventured, foreign diplomats impressed, impressive court level 4, improved centralization, East India Trading Company, Spanish Bible translation, Mount of Piety, Capitanus Hereditarius, American Global Tariffs, Charity Schools, the Holy Land Pious, which I'm going to lose that because I'm going to cut Damascus. Some Silk, Education Level 5, Policy of Tolerance, Leverage Noble Ties, Excommunicated, Poor Iron, Stability Cooldown, appeased using decentralization. That expires 1473, so luckily that will last. That'll expire after 1572, otherwise I'd be in trouble. Corvée labor, religious scandal, ends 74. Burgher citizenship level 6. Royal patronage of the church, development level 3 average. Cibola gold. Admirable culture, level 2, reduced tribute. Title rank kingdom. I have to become an empire, but the Pope, or the, I think it's the Pope. The Pope's not going to let me become an empire. And then plentiful manpower. I'd like to abdicate, but I have no prestige to do that, so I'll probably just wait. I think my guy is a ruler. I should try and kill him. Alright, so in the next part, actually, I'm going to end this. I was going to play a little bit, but I said I'm going to end it, so I'm going to end it. In the next part, I'll probably have to wait a little bit for this to go away, because I'm not going to do any wars until that goes away. Hopefully it's only like 4 months, and then I'll expand into Mexico some more. And once Madurai, the truce ends there, I'll take those 2 provinces, and then probably a bunch of gold, and then I'll try and get Bomani as a vassal. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next part. Goodbye.